Good morning, afternoon, and evening from wherever you are listening. Welcome back to the Breakevens podcast. My name is Corey, and as always, with me is Jack.
Hello.
So, Jack, you can tell I still sound like Squidward.
Yes, you do.
That's because I have something called sinusitis. So,
Never heard of it.
it's not COVID, but basically my sinuses are inflamed and blocked, so I can't breathe. All right. So I'm sorry to the listeners out there that think that they're watching SpongeBob SquarePants. Um, but back to the footy. Round 4 is done and dusted, and what a crazy hectic round we just had. We've had big injuries, Jack, which we'll
Yes.
we'll, we'll get through to a few of them in a second. Suspensions, which help a few of our rookies, which is good. And it seemed like a light week score wise for Supercoach with these injuries and stuff. So not too many big scores that we expect. As always, thank you all for your ongoing support. Again, people on Twitter, you guys are awesome. Getting plenty of um, chats and conversations in there, which is great. You can find us on Twitter at the Breakevens and on YouTube, the Breakevens, and also on Apple Podcasts, the Breakevens. So today's podcast, same as the last few weeks, we've got to review the last round's games quickly, give you guys our hot and colds for the week, and that we've had our second cash generation, or loss of cash. So, and a few new rookies coming in. So we'll discuss that a little bit, and then break evens, and then we'll go through at the start our personal teams as always, and then the break evens team as well. So, Jack, how did you go this week, mate?
Well, I won all three of my leagues, so that's a pretty good thing. Scored 2,204, so light score.
You didn't really beat anyone of importance either, so
Yeah, nah, definitely not the other person talking.
Chris.
Scored 2,204. McRae captain really saved me. I called it last week against Richmond, and he really did what I expected.
Yeah.
So I scored 2,204. I jumped back into the 30,000s in the season rank. I'm 39,941. So that's
making your way downtown.
Just hoping some players can get out of their poor slump and get back to their best that they were doing the first couple rounds.
Yep.
Really.
Yep. And any trades you're looking at or people to trade out?
I've done nothing yet. If Hinge is injured, he's got to go. I've only got the Koning on the bench that's playing, and it's definitely hard to have him on the field this week with someone missing. He had to this week, and it let me down big time. Actually, wait, no, I did do one. I lied.
You lied.
Alex Davies, his break even jumped up massively, so I had to get rid of him, and I brought in O'Driscoll.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Nice.
But
well, who are you eyeing off for VC and C this week?
I'm not too sure. Let me just have a quick look at the games. I think I'm going to go Neil vice captain.
Yeah.
I might go Neil. Actually, no, North Melbourne's midfield's decent. Actually, yeah. I think I'll go Neil vice McRae captain.
Yeah, I think that's going to be very popular. So, where was I looking? So, funny enough, both Neil and McRae don't do that well against the sides they're playing this week. which is really rare. Neil had 288s and I think just over 100 against Collingwood the last 3 times, and McRae, I think he's had 2 over 100 and 1 under. So hopefully they can change that.
Yeah, but you'd think Greenwood tagged Neil in the past couple years.
Yeah. That's probably what's happened. So is that it for your team?
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. Well, we'll go through my team. Seeing that Jack beat me, it wasn't a great week.
Especially with the score so low.
Yeah, I was worried about McRae's role as the week before he was played on a wing. So I was like, if he plays on the wing again, that means Josh Dunkley has a higher scoring potential, which he probably would have got close to McRae if he knew how to kick the ball. He got 30 odd touches, like 37 touches
30 something
or something. Kicked the ball from 35 meters out on the full, which didn't help. And yeah, he's been hanging around Adam Treloar too much, and he's become a bit of a butcher here and there. So had the VC on him, and thankfully had the captain on Lockie Neal, on Jack Steele, who's got 125. So that's a decent score, but in the end, I lose 70 odd points, which is probably what I lost by Jack. So that's completely my fault, and I'll never go against Jack McRae again.
You went against Jack McRae and me.
Yeah. But also, unfortunately, I had some good scores on the bench. Hinge and McCutton both scored less than decoding. So there's some points there. And I had Dixon and Rochelle both on the bench as well. So if I chuck them on and have McRae captain, in a perfect world, I could have scored 2-4. But I didn't. I scored 2,160. And another factor for that is because Paddy Cripps got injured. And after the first quarter, he got subbed out. He was on 38. So he was on track for 130 odd. So yeah, 2,160, which for the round, it was a rank of 54,031, which is not great. And that means I've dropped slightly in the overall rankings. I slid 3,676 spaces or spots, and now I sit at 9,715. So still in the top 10,000.
And you lost to a bloke that was in the 40,000s.
Yeah. But hopefully there's a bit more stability. So going forward. Trades for me this week. I've already done one. I got rid of Dylan Stevens for Nathan O'Driscoll. So even though O'Driscoll's already played a third game and his cash gen has gone up, he's only 167k. So I get 35 odd k for the downgrade of Stevens, and he's got a negative break even, which I think I have that game, so we'll get into that a bit later. But his cash generation is going to be really good because that 104 that he scored. So it's the only trade I've done so far. I'm looking. I've got Hinge. He's a 50-50 for this week. So that to me means if he doesn't play, he's probably back the week after. So I might have to just put him on the bench and put Sam DeCotte on field, which isn't ideal, but I don't see any way around it, unfortunately, without using another trade. So if I do the one trade, it leaves you with 30 trades left. So it's like started the previous seasons from round 5, I believe we're up to. So that's what I'm thinking this week. Unfortunately, Bruce got suspended, so I'm playing Dixon on field at R2, but that gives me a nice little loophole. I've got three or four loopholes this week, so hopefully Lockie Deal goes nuts. So Lockie Deal against Collingwood, as I said, last three against Collingwood, 89, 88, and 113. Those two low scores were last year, and we all know he had so many injuries last season and didn't really get going. So I think that's nothing we can really go by. And I think he's got to go 140 plus. So I've got him there. And Captain McRae against North, he's gone 108, 138, and 90. But it's McRae, and I learned last week not to go against him. So those are my captain options. I was looking, was it Grundy? Yeah, so Grundy against the Lions, it's got 104, 89, and 162. So with the Big O back, he could be an option, but I think Lucky Deal is better. So, all right, shall we get into the break-evens or the game reviews, or do you want to go through the break-evens team quickly, Jack?
We'll go through the break-evens team. We did that last week.
Yep, awesome. So break-evens team, which beat me as well. So both the podcast.
Yeah, I was going to mention how did they go? Who did they play against?
So they scored. Well, we scored. Sorry, 2,273, which is I think our best score for
this
the
week.
year, which isn't great, but we're making some big changes this week, Jack. So we'll get to that in a second. So that was a round rank of 15,969, and now our overall rank is 55,018. We could have scored more. We had Stewart as a laid out, which didn't help. But I think that meant, was it McCartan or Dakota came in, so it's not too bad. We loopholed McRae, which is great. Was it last week?
You listened to me.
Yeah. And talk about listening to you. Was it last week or the week before? We got in Jared Witz, and he went 150 something, I believe.
154.
So that was great. But also say that we have Butters, Cogs, and Cherry, who didn't do great in the forward line.
Yeah.
We'll go through possibly why on those in a second. And what hurts even more is like what my squad, we had Rochelle and Dixon on the bench. So trades this week. I'm going to talk through it. We don't have a visual, but just picture it in your heads here, all right? It's got
Try and not get confused like I did.
Yeah. So we have Dylan Stevens on the bench. I don't think he's going to play anytime soon. So we're going to trade out Dylan Stevens. We have Rochelle on our forward bench. We're going to sub him on to our mid bench. That means we have an open spot on the forward line bench. We are going to sub Sam DeCotti from our defensive bench to our forward bench. And now we need a defensive player for our bench. Who do we go? The man we've been talking about, Nathan O'Driscoll, onto our bench. All right, so that's only using one trade. We've moved 3 players and only using one trade. So O'Driscoll will go onto our defensive bench. Now, depending on Hinge, we can go Mitch Hinge up to Jack Sinclair, who's averaging 116 points and a pod selection. He's been playing through the midfield. He's looking dominant. Hasn't scored under 100 this year. So we're looking to do the 2 trades possibly. So yeah, Stevens out, Rochelle midfield, the Cottage forward line, O'Driscoll into defense, and then Hinge up to Sinclair. Unfortunately, we're 20k shy of getting Sam Dockley, who we hope to get. But with our team, we need to make some bold changes now, and we're going Jack Sinclair as a pod. And I think Jack, Neil, and McRae VCC, because we've both got them, so
Yeah.
let's just back it. So that's our Breakevens team for now. But we might not do that Hinge trade. Depends if he plays. If he plays, he could go up, so we could maybe get someone better. But we'll see how it goes. So to the game reviews. All right, Jack. I believe you went first this time. You have the 5 games, so
I do.
off you go.
So Port versus Melbourne. Melbourne won by 32 points. It was a pretty comfortable win. It probably should have been a bit more, but they just fell asleep in the second half. Melbourne, because the game was done. Hot Port Adelaide. Tom Cleary, I can't fucking say his name. 125. And I'm pretty sure that was his first game this year, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, he's the highest
Riley Bonner.
averaging defender in Supercoach at the moment.
Yeah. where I said how would be at.
Yeah.
Riley Bonner, 124. He's looking like he could be a pod option.
Yep.
Willem Drew, 119. Boak and Tom Jonas, 117 each. Like they both scored 117. Yep. And Ryan Burton scored 108. For Melbourne, the beast has woken up. Max Gawn, 160. Doubled his score. He's doubled his score from the last 3 rounds. Luke Jackson scored 126. So the ruck duo both went off. James Harms 118. Stephen May 111, and Jack Viney scored a flat 100.
Yep.
Colts, Ollie Wines 53, and was it a heart issue that he was subbed with?
Yeah, it's like it was I forget what it's called, but it's like an inflammation of like the heart muscle. Yeah, apparently out for 2 to 3 weeks.
Bowie scored 47, which isn't great for Bowie holders, users, I should say. Clary 68, Petrarca 85, Butters 57.
Yeah.
And the last one, I just had to chuck it in there because of last week, Angus Brayshaw 82.
Yeah.
People who traded him in, I'm laughing at you.
What did we say at the end of last week? Don't go chasing scores because that stuff happens.
What were you going to say something?
So just a few things on a few of those players, especially the cold ones. Ollie Wines could get stuffed. He was my vice captain in draft, so now I have to bench him and he lost me the game. So stuff Ollie Wines. Second, Butters. So we'll talk about this just before we started recording, Jack. Butters has been playing pretty much basically forward because Robbie Gray's been out and they've had so many injuries in that forward line, like Fantasia and Dixon, and Durzer's been out of the side who sometimes floats in there. So he's been stuck there. But with Ollie White's out and Robbie Gray coming back, who are they going to put in that midfield? Zach Butters. So do not trade Zach Butters. He is going to get 130 plus this week. Back him in. Do not trade Primos. We said this last week. Okay. Now, moving on. Clary Oliver has not had a great start. Okay. And this week, they play GWS, which means they're going to do the 5-man tag again. Okay. So he's not going to score well this week, which means his break even is going to go up like crazy. Okay. He is projected, if he averages 112 in the next 3 weeks, he will be 577k by round 7. That is a bargain. So do not go early on getting Clary. Wait a few weeks. He's got to go down on one of your rookies. They've got to go up, straight swap. Or, you do one trade down, straight up. Okay. So that's all I have to say about them. Just quickly, Lyset, rumours he's not going to play. Rumours are he is. But if he doesn't, Sam Hayes, the 123k rookie ruck, he's next in line. So keep an eye out for him. Sorry, Jack.
No, you're all good. The Breakevens, as I've put down here because I forgot an E.
The Breakevens.
We've got Petrarca on 168, Larry 162.
That's what I'm saying.
Bowie 58. Bowie he should get that, but if he has a week like last week, which to be fair to him, it's not his fault that Port Adelaide didn't kick a goal in the first half and 30 minutes.
But also because that game was so easy for Melbourne, they'll just running the ball out of defense. They weren't really looking for Bowie. Like, he was in good positions, but they just weren't going to him because of how easy it was. Yeah.
Max Gawn 86.
Yep.
Luke Jackson 69.
Yeah.
Well, Gawn, he should make 86.
Yeah.
But I think last week he scored 86 on the dot.
Yeah.
So he's a bit of a hit and miss. I think he gets that. Luke Jackson 69.
Against Matt Flynn, though, I reckon he's going to dominate.
Oh, yeah. Luke Jackson 69. He should get that. McEntee -3.
Yep.
Zach Butters 152. So if you don't have him already, he's someone to look into getting the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
Because he's going to drop. Mead, and lastly, Mead -21.
Yep. Yep.
That was the last one.
Yep. Sweet. So McEntee probably not an option, and Mead has played. Was it his third game this week?
Third or fourth.
Yeah. So he's got money to make, but I'd probably go a Driscoll over him. So when we move on to the next game, I had the Geelong Cats versus the Brisbane Lions. The Cats won by 10 points because the Lions were robbed and Tom Hawkins gets every free kick at 20 metres out in front of goal.
We say it every week.
I feel sorry for Harris Andrews, to be honest. So the hots for Geelong, Isaac Smith 129, Tom Hawkins, or should I say the umpires 120, Mark Blitzarves 119, Zach Tui 103. For the Lions, Lockie Neal 128, Daniel Rich 105, that man Andrews 100, Dan McStay 100, and I put Jared Berry in for 96 because that's close as to a ton so far, and he's built up slowly, and he's looking at Geelong. Cam Guthrie 84, he's looking like an absolute sticker. Stay away. If you have him, you've got to trade him. Dangerfield 70.
Don't trade your primos.
Yeah, but when someone is over 600k and hasn't posted a ton all year, it's time. So Dangerfield 70. I've put Max Holmes 69 because he's been averaging pretty well. So this is an off game for him. And Mitch Duncan 67. And for the Lions, I've put Marcus Adams 52. Again, so he's been averaging really well, but as we said in previous podcasts, his role, sometimes he might have to be a bit more of a lockdown. so his score might fluctuate. Man with no legs, Dane Zorko, 52 as well, and Zach Bailey, 51. As we move on to the Breakevens, as Jack said, the Breakevens, Sam DeConnie, negative 19, has money to make, and I think he might just make that. Tyson Stengel, 17, Max Holmes, 27, Tom Hawkins, 76, Tom Stewart, 128, Dangerfield, 136, Duncan, 140, and Guthrie, 148. So going through that, DeConnie, yes, will get an negative 19, same as Stengel, 17, Holmes, 27. Hawkins, you'd think it would get 76. And Stewart and Dangerfield are both chances to get there, 128, 136 respectively. As we go to the Lions, Jared Berry, 17, will get that. Sprainer, Cam Raider, 50, might get it, might not, who knows. Zach Bailey, 85, you think should hopefully get that. Adams, 100, might not. Lions, 124, could, probably won't. Mitch, 135, probably won't get that. Neil, 139, could against Collingwood. And Zorko, 152, I don't see him getting that. That's that game. So, Jack, who'd you have next?
I had another robbery. Sydney versus North Melbourne. Sydney won by 11 points, and I'm sorry, 3 minutes of football won them the game. They were shocking, and it just shows how bad North Melbourne is, because they were by far the better team, and they just could not put Sydney away, and it cost them in the end.
Yep.
But going with that, Hots, funny enough, we got a man that you were very high on the start, then after 2 weeks you pissed him off. And this is why we say don't trade your primos, even though he's a mid-pricer.
He's not a primo.
He's a mid-pricer. Justin McInerney, 137. I just had to have the big intro to that because, you know, you had him and he's gone and he scores well.
You know what annoys me now? Stevens is out of the side. I think that wing is his now, so he could definitely average 95 now.
The man that's come out of nowhere, Isaac Heaney, I think he was on 50 at 3/4 time. 131.
Yeah, kicked the final goal to seal it a minute
kicked
ago.
2 of the last 3, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Callum Mills, 130. He's doing a lot better than what I thought he would. He could actually be a genuine pod mid.
Yep.
Is it Braden Campbell?
Yep.
Yeah. 110. Row bottom, I just realised I put negative 100, but that's meant to be 100. With North Melbourne, Jaden Stevenson, 139. Jai Simkin and Goldie both got 114. I think Goldie had that main ruck roll that game as well, from what I saw. The ruck.
Cherry got a knock to the head.
Yeah.
So I'll get on that in a second.
And Luke McDonald scored 101. Colts for Sydney, Luke Parker, 39. I think I'm going to take one and say I was wrong with my Smoky pick with Luke Parker. Buddy, 42, and he injured his hand or dislocated a finger?
Fractured finger. He's out for 2 to 3 weeks.
Yep. Lloyd, 76. He's had a very slow start this year.
Yep.
Cam Zerha got injured for North Melbourne. I don't know what it was, and how long it is.
Yep.
But he got injured.
I think it was a concussion. So it should just be the 1 week. Sorry, I was trying to remember what
Yeah,
it
nah,
was.
you're all good. And sadly last, Tristan the Cherry Bomb, 46. There was no bomb this week.
Yeah, so unfortunately, he got punched in the head or something, right? Um, so he was off the ground for like most of the second quarter because obviously they check concussion, so you have to be off for 20 minutes. And then
And no, I don't think that 20-minute rule exists anymore. It's just you can go
I,
down, do the test, and if you get the test right, you're up to go.
no, I think it's still 20 minutes because his time on ground was down heaps.
Yeah, there's some
So
people that's gone out and come up 5-10 minutes later, but
yeah, well, anyway, got the head knock, had a lot of time on the bench after that point, and I'm pretty sure they just stuck him down forward.
yeah,
Obviously, he's got to play this week. He's still got to be the number one ruck. They're not going to, take that role off him just because he got punched in the head, and had a quieter game. He's still developing, and if you punch anyone in the head, they're going to feel it. So
oh yeah.
I wouldn't worry about Cherry. I still think he can still make 100K. So yeah, but back him in for that 85 to 95. Yep.
Talking about that, onto the breakevens. Aaron Hall, 154. He's gonna drop a bit more.
Yep.
The Hornet, 20. He's definitely gonna get that.
Yep.
The Cherry Bomb has a break even of 58.
Yep.
So he should get that. Hopefully we can get a ton or something like that and it drops again.
Yep.
Jai Simpkin, 84. I've put him in here because he's shown some pretty decent scores, over 100.
Yep.
And 84, he should make that. Callum Mills, 145. Now, I would say I wouldn't back him in, but he actually could get that.
Yeah.
He genuinely could. Hoping he doesn't, and he can drop down a bit more for us looking for a cheeky midfield pod.
Yep.
And the last one, Isaac Heaney, is on a 92, and I say he gets that.
Yep. And if he doesn't, he'd be close to it, so he won't drop too much.
Yeah. That was the last one.
Quick check for me, Jack. What did Aiden Bonner score this week?
Oh, I forgot. He backed up his -1 last week with a score of -5. Get him in now. He could have a -4 break even, and he's gonna lose money.
I was surprised you didn't put him in.
I totally blanked.
Jack, you really need to lift your game, mate.
Yeah, right? I do. The 5 games scared me this week. I was panicking. I was going to lose my job.
So that was it for that game?
Yes, it was.
Awesome. So we'll go Collingwood versus West Coast. The Eagles won by 13. It looks like Collingwood's game plan works well for 3 quarters, but then the last quarter we get burnt out. And if teams are close enough and good enough, they can roll over us. So I was chatting to someone.
Goal kicking issues as well.
Yeah, I was chatting to someone yesterday about it, and I reckon after the buys, I think we'll see that endurance there, and I think we'll be able to play up 4 quarters a lot more often. But it's not looking great at the moment. So hot for Collingwood. Jack Crisp, for those who held, he helped you all out at 132. There was no going into Adams, so someone had to get the ball.
And it was him. I thought it was Lipinski, and I was wrong.
Yeah. Someone else who got plenty of the ball, Nick, the Brownlow, day cost 125 super coach. You love to see it. could get some more good opportunities as well in that midfield.
And he should be getting that defensive DPP in 2 weeks, is it?
Yeah, I'll get to that at the very end because I saw a big debate about it on Twitter. Grundy 118, Pendle's 110, Braden Maynard 107, and for the Eagles, Alex Witherden 127. I put Hugh Dixon in 96. Same with your boy Jack Paddy Nash 90, and I've put in Willie Rioli 89. They were all 250 or under, and they all have really good break evens and good cash gen. So the Colts, as you said, Jack, Pat Lipinski 79, not great. Hopefully gets a bit more mid-time, but it is basically played off the half forward and then rotated in, which isn't ideal for those who have him. And Reef McInnes for his first game only scored 21. I thought he was
it was his second
game. Sorry, I thought he was going to get dropped, but he's played. And Cole.
Did he get dropped this week?
Nah,
I can't remember.
Nah,
he's still in.
Played, yeah. And Shannon Hurd for West Coast is the only cold one because half their team is Waffle still. He scored 46. So we go to the break evens for Collingwood. They cost negative 37. That is what we want. That's what
money.
That's it. And another ton here, and it'll still be negative next week. He can get to 450. Hopefully he just gets the opportunities.
But even that, he's looking like a D6 option. He's looking like he might not need to go up. Sit him at D6.
Yeah, depends how he goes from here onwards. If you see more tons, then definitely. But don't forget, rookies do hit a wall at some stage. But
no other rookies named Nick Dacos, are they?
This is true. I mean, he's winning the Brownlow, so yeah.
Exactly.
Reef McInnes negative 9, so not great cash gen. Ginnivan 63, and I think he's injured.
Health and safety protocols.
Okay, yeah, it's between him and Myercheck. I forgot which one was injured. So I think
both of them. Both of them.
One's
health and safety.
One's injured.
I saw they were both health and safety.
Health and salad.
Yeah.
Brody Myercheck, health and safety protocol. Jack Ginnivan injured, so I was right. So shut up, Jack. But
the AFL app said that they were health and safety.
Yeah, I'm looking at the app now. But yeah, anyway, his cash gen's pretty much shot now, so it's not great. Pat Lipinski 65 break even. Pendle's 73. You think they both make that? Jeremy Howe, who I just saw is playing his 200th game this week. Funny enough, so is Lockie Neal.
We know who the better player is. Howe!
Howe 96 break even. I don't think he gets that, but that's just me. Jordan DeGoey should be back. 101 could get that.
He is back.
Jack Crisp 107. Hopefully he gets that for those who have him. Brody Grundy 131 could get that. Seen his last game against Brisbane scored 162, and Maynard 149. I don't see him getting that. And for the Eagles, Hugh Dixon, with Nick Natanui out for 12 weeks, Hugh Dixon is the number 1 ruck.
How beautiful is that? No offense to West Coast fans or Nick Nat. Like, it's sad that he's gone down with another knee. It's probably his career, to be honest. But for us Hugh Dixon owners, it's bloody amazing.
Yep. So break even of negative 60, which is delicious. Willie Rioli negative 40. Brody Hoff negative 2. Paddy Nash 8. You think they'd all get that? Wizard 49 should get that. McGovern 92 could get that. Might not. Depends on the role. Hurd 96, the same as McGovern. And as I said, Nick, that 130 break even. So that's that game done. Jack, who you got next?
The best game of the round, the Tigers versus the Doggies. Yeah. Richmond won by 38 points and we're not the better team on the night, so it was an even better win. Odds for Richmond, Prestia 112. I said when we're doing the teams, Prestia looks like he could step up and be the big man. He was, and Richmond's midfield was a lot better with him in there, and Dow floating in and going forward. He's got 112, but how long until he gets injured again? Jaden Short 111. Probably should have put him in cold. I think it's the lowest score he's had this season. Pickett 109, Tommy Lynch 104, and Dan Rioli 101. For the Doggies, Jackson McRae 158, Marcus Bontempelli 136, Bailey Smith 122, Bailey Dale and Liba both scored 115, Caleb Daniel 113, and Dunkley 103.
Going off that, you think the Bulldogs won the game because of their midfield. They all fucking went nuts.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, they were the better team, but the better team on the night. Colts for Richmond, the only one that I have 71. Everyone else, not really options on pretty much on the hot list. For the Bulldogs, Adam Trelaw 80. And I'll put Tim English 96, which is a pretty good score, but we've been seeing him score 115 plus, I think, every week. So a 96 is a big drop. And against the Tigers, I personally thought he was going to dominate, which thankfully Nate did a good job on him.
Yeah, the bigger body got him a little bit more. So
yeah. With the break evens, Dan Rioli 39, more cash than on him, which I think he's already made over 120k anyway. Yep. Hugo Railsmith 27. Like they'll both get that. Railsmith, it's probably close to get rid of. Jaden Short 112. I reckon he gets that. Josh Gibcus 17 with Ralph Smith. Think he gets it, but he's maybe got a week or two left at best. Caleb Daniel 91. He could make that. He could miss it. It's just what Caleb Daniel are we going to get?
Yeah.
Jack McRae 147. I'm backing him in. I think he gets it. I could be wrong, but after last week. Dunkley 99, you think he gets that. Bont 117, could get it, might not get it, depends what Bont we get. And Adam Treloar 104. If he doesn't butcher it, he can get that, but I think he will be dropping down in price.
Yeah. One person I want to speak about, and I apologise, Jack, because you asked me about him, and I said he's not really an option. Thompson Dow. He's played 3 games now. First game he scored 49. All right, not great. Second game scored 100 and just scored 83 against the Bulldogs. So he's averaging 77 points. He's got up 51k. So he was started at 199. He's now at 250. Yeah. Got a break even of -36. If he scores 63 this week, he will jump up another 44k. He is someone that's gone under the radar and someone I personally have overlooked. If he could keep...
I didn't.
You didn't? If he could keep his role and his place in that side, for those who did jump on him, he's got to get 350 to 400k. So,
it's just The only
Yep.
person who's going to take him out is Dusty, and that's just the uncertainty. Dusty could be back this week. He might not be back for the rest of the season. So it's a very scary one, but he's a class player.
Yep. So Thompson Dow, well done to those that jumped on. And Jack, I apologise.
It's all good.
And that was it for that game?
Yes. Apart from the Tigers winning, I would like to say that again.
All right. So we'll go to Freya versus GWS. Freya won by 54 points, which was crazy. So
I
the
backed
hots
the
for
Giants.
Freo. Yep, so did I. The hots for Freo is someone I looked past and I probably should have jumped on. That is Will Brodie, 135 Supercoach points. He's got to go up to 450k. It looks like. Griffin Logue, 125. Heath Chapman, another 100. He's got 118. Nathan O'Driscoll, 104, which is why people are jumping on him now because he's that cash gen. Hayden Young, 101. And Jack, you wouldn't believe it, Sonny Boy Walters, 94.
Get around him.
94. I don't believe it.
He had the game of his bloody career for the last 4 years, Sonny Walters.
For GWS, Tim Taranto, 121. Isaac Cumming, 119. And Braden Pruce, 102, but is suspended for 1 week. Just one thing. Everyone was worried about Tim Taranto with Toby Green out. He's been killing it. And guess who's back after this week?
Toby Green.
Toby Green. So Taranto go full mid, which you think would be very good. But just
I don't
careful.
think he goes full mid. I think he just plays more mid.
Yeah, plays more mid, but that could hurt him a little bit because that means he might get the ball more often, which means he might not use it as good. As we know, he is a butcher, so the more ball he gets, the more chance he has of turning it over. So just be careful of that. But definitely an upgrade target because he can go big. So the Colts, we spoke about this guy last week about how he goes up and down, and I said get ready for a low score, and he did. Luke Ryan, 77 Supercoach points, and Shrek Darcy, 71 as well. And Colds, I put this guy in just to annoy you, Jack, and that's Jelly, Josh Kelly, 89, and Cogs only Stephen Keeler only scored 64.
I mean, Kelly 89 is cold, so it's not really taking a hit at me, but I understand why you said that.
Now, Jack, I made fun of you before. I have also forgotten an E. This is the Breakevens. So the Breakevens for Freo, Nathan O'Driscoll, negative 54, and that's why everyone's jumping on him. He's got money to make. Neil Erasmus has played 2 games now, averaging 69 or 70. He has a break even of negative 30. Will Brodie, negative 16. That's what I'm talking about, Jack. Negative 16, and he's turned up most weeks. Heath Chapman, negative 16 as well, off two consecutive tons, I believe. And then we get into the higher break evens or break evenness. Hayden Young, 102, could get that, might not. Luke Ryan, 160, will not get that. Andy Brayshaw, the brother of Hamish, 175, so he's going to drop. And Shrek Darcy, break even of 235.
Jesus.
Watch him go 190 and only drop like 7k.
No, watch him get 236 and go up $100.
GWS, Braden Pruce, as I said, suspended for a week, but when he comes back, for those who are looking, negative 91 break even. Love to see it. Cogs, 16. All it takes is another 140 from him, and he goes to another negative break even. Tom Green, 69. should get that, should bounce back. Tim Taranto, 82, you think would get that. Lockie Whitfield, 86. He had an 80-point second half. He was on 19 at half time. Got back up to the 90s, which was good. He's going to bring it to
I
86.
was about to talk shit here while that game was going on. I'm glad I didn't speak too early.
Yeah, take that. Isaac Cumming, 94, you think should get that. And Jack, your boy Josh Kelly, 152, break even.
Yeah.
Move on to your game. Who you got?
Now, I said the last game was the best game of the round by bias, but I think this was generally the best game of the round. Essendon versus Adelaide. Essendon won by 4 points in a very good close contest. Now, it could have been, I didn't watch the game, so it could have been close because they were both shit, but it also could have been the best because they were both very good. Going on to the hots for Essendon, we got Darcy Parish leading the way with 121.
Yep.
Andy McGrath, 111. Nick Hind, 104. Going on to Adelaide, Rory Laird, 143.
Yes.
But alongside him, Ben Keys, 110.
Yeah.
So even with Laird in the side, he's still scoring 110 plus, which I did say at the start of the year. Look at him. Yep. I do want to say that again.
You did, yep.
Tex Walker doing what he did last year, start the season off with a big 107. I think he kicked 3 for the game. And then
3 or 4.
The rising star of the week and the rising star medalist of the year, Jimmy Rowe 2.0. He scored 106. Rochelle.
Yes. I'd just like to point out, Rochelle, Dacos, and Horn Francis all had crazy games. Horn Francis is unlucky.
He's on like 97 at 3/4 time and went down to 93.
Yeah, he was unlucky because Rochelle kicked some big goals towards the end. But also Rochelle is very lucky because if Dacos didn't win the Rising Star nomination for last week, he was definitely get it this week because he.
Oh yeah.
Like Rochelle and Horn Francis, he's not even in the review mirror. Dacos is that far ahead, so. Unlucky for Horn Francis, lucky for Rochelle.
Yeah, someone's coming in, Thompson now. Colts for Essendon, Dylan Shields, 68. Jordan Ridley, 74.
He's a must trade.
He's having a poor start. I think he turned up last week and that's it. Maybe once before.
Yep.
Snelling got subbed. I'm not sure what it was.
I missed all like the Saturday and most of the Sunday games. So.
Mitchell Hinge, 37, subbed with a hip complaint, which we know about. Rob Riley O'Brien, 61. And Matt Crouch, 71. The handballs mustn't have been effective this week.
Doesn't help when you need 50 handballs a game to score 100.
Yeah. With the break-evens, Dawson, 101. He could get that. He should get that. But then this week he scored, I think it was 94 or 96.
Yeah.
So he could easily drop in price. Jimmy Rowe 2.0 has a break-even of 10. Rochelle.
Yep.
Hinge 29. If he plays, you'd think he gets it.
Yep.
Rory Laird has a break-even of 136. And look, he's someone that you could back in to get that, especially if last week's performance is something to go by. Darcy Parish, 126. I can't see him getting that personally. Dylan Shield, 59. He should get that quite comfortably. Ridley, 114. I don't think he gets it. He could, but I don't think he will. And the last one, look, don't think he's going to get it at all. Nick Martin, minus 114. It's a big ask to get that break even.
Yeah, he's averaging 89.7. So yeah, tough one.
Oh yeah, that was the last one.
Awesome. So I had the Hawks versus the Saints. The Hawks won by the magic number 69. Tom Mitchell finally showed up. He scored 119. James Sicily, I'm glad I got this guy in for McInerney. 113. He's now averaging 101. And your boy Dylan Moore, who kicked 2 goals in 1 minute, he's got 105. For the Saints, the men we're looking to get into our defense, who's averaging 116. That is Jack Sinclair, who's got 135. Jack Steele, it looks like he's warmed up finally, 125 this week. Butler, 111. Jade Gresham, who's averaging, I think, 100 maybe, or not 96 or something. Hang on. Averaging 92. He scored 106, and Seb Ross 103. The Colts for Hawthorn, Giath 75, Will Day 54, who got a concussion, and that's Paddy Ryder, who is out for 2 weeks, which means Jack Hayes should come in, but they're talking about bringing in Tom Campbell, and no one cares about Tom Campbell. He's a spud. Give Jack Hayes a go.
He couldn't get a game for North Melbourne. How's he going to get a game for St Kilda?
Exactly. Warple 37, Connor Mcdonald 23, and Jack Gunston 20. For St Kilda, Rowan Marshall 78, and the debutant Windhager scored 33. As we move to the break evens for Hawthorn, Connor McDonald 27. You think would and should get that, but his cash gen is looking great, so hopefully we get a big game from him. Josh Ward 29, same as McDonald, a big game, and that his cash gen gets resparked. Finn McGuinness 42, John Newcomb 46, Sicily 61, Giath also 61, Dylan Moore 69. You think all those should hopefully get that. McGuinness is probably the only one that might not. And to finish off, Tom Mitchell 122 could get that, might not, and Jack Gunston 123. I'll probably say he doesn't get it this week. For the States, I've put Jack Hayes here, negative 15. Should be brought in, as I said. Jade Gresham 6, money there. Wagonine Millera 15. You think he gets that? Jack Sinclair 59, so he's got to go up even more money. Jack Steele 128, could get that, might not. And Rowan Marshall 137. I'd probably say he doesn't get it this week. And Jack, I guess that means you have the last game for the round.
I do. Gold Coast versus Carlton, which Gold Coast won by 30.
Yep.
Now, is that questions that Carlton need to ask? Cripps goes down early, they can't win without him, or is it just a Gold Coast outclassed them for the day and they'll bounce back? We'll find out this week. But hots for the Gold Coast. My man that I stuck with and started with, Jared Efwitz, 154. Now, look, I also think that's part of the reason why I beat you, because that no one expected Witz to score that. Lockie Weller, 116. He's bloody yo-yo, I'm calling him. Is that what you call him when they go up and down on the string?
Yep. The Elliot yo-yo.
Mate, he's a yo-yo. Noah Anderson, 111, continuing his very good start. He could have easily scored 120 to 130, but he had a shot on goal from a free kick, and he kicked it out on the full.
It did a Dunkley.
Yeah. Surprise of the week, former Tig, Marbior Chol, 107. Did cop some racism, which sucks. Don't know why people do it. But
Carlton supporters.
I guess he must be doing something right for people to give him the bad attention, which people usually do when someone's dominating. So keep it up, mate. Took 105. I put him in the hots because he turned up. He also had a massive tag. So, but like with Took, we probably want a bit more.
Yep.
Lukosius had a game out with 101. And this infuriates me. Brandon Ellis scored 100 along with Will fucking Powell. I mean, he still scored 44 lower than his break even, but he had 58 and 60. He's like, look, mate, I'm not getting the ball. I'm not doing nothing. Get rid of me. And he's gone, oh, you dickhead. For Carlton, Zach Williams and Sam Doherty both scored 135. Adam Sard, 129. George Hewitt, continuing his strong form with 120. And Sam Walsh, 101. Again, tonned up. He's coming back from injury. We're hoping he can push that up to 110 plus. Colds for Gold Coast. Is it Farah?
Yep.
He did a hammy not long after Cripps did his. Don't know how long he's out for, but Alex Davies, a very strong 39. I think that got me over the line against you.
Yeah.
Matt Rao, 65.
Yep.
And for Carlton, Paddy Cripps, 38 and a hammy. I think that was the obvious one. Adam Chera only scored 81 with Cripps out, and he went inside mid. Does that worry people who have him that he wasn't on the wing as much and he drops his score?
Who's that?
Adam Chera.
Chera, yeah. We spoke about Chera last week, and he looks like the one that is being affected by all the gut midfielders. So yeah, he's probably going to stay clear. We'll have those games where he pops off, but for the most part,
he should this week with Cripps out. That's why I put him down, because with Cripps going out in the first quarter, he had more opportunity inside mid and still didn't get what we wanted.
But still, Walsh is the bigger body, so you'd think Walsh would be there,
yeah,
and he'd still stay on the outside.
And the last one, Nick Newman, 65. He's someone who's been scoring close to 100 every week, if not 100. Yep. Breakevens, Alex Davies, 69. He's not getting that. No chance in hell. Jared Witt, 16. He was on, I think it was 75 last week. So that just shows how big that 154 was for the cash gen alone. Matt Rouse, 68. He should get that, but if he has a game like last week, he won't. Took Miller, 188. Yeah, he's going to drop in price. George Hewitt, 57. He should get that. Patrick Cripps, I know he's missing this week, but I thought I'll chuck him in just for this. He has a break even of 152.
Yep.
So when he comes back in a week's time, I don't think he'd get 152, but he'd get at least 130, so it's not a massive worry.
Yeah.
Sam Doherty, 78. He's just going to climb and climb and climb. Yeah. And Sam Walsh, 134. We could see a drop.
Yeah.
And that was it for the game.
A few things on that game. There's a few talking points here. So first, with Cripps, it's come out. It's only a week. So he should be back after this round. So do not trade him, hold him. He's averaging 119 or something. He's averaging 112, and that's with a score of 38. So really, it's like 119, 120. So yeah, do not trade him, hold him. Yeah, it's just stupid if you do. Second thing about Rao, the games where he hasn't scored well, he got KO'd by Willie Rioli. Right? He copped a knock last week, and well, the round before, and this week just gone, he copped a massive knee to the back and looked like he could not move for the 3/4 of the game. It's no wonder why he's scoring low, is because he keeps getting bloody bashed
bullied.
up. Yeah, bashed up because he goes at the ball hard, and sometimes like the Rioli one, he just looks up and tries to mark the ball and has no clue that really Rioli's got a fly kick him in the head.
Kamikaze him.
So
Hadouken style.
even with 3 lowish scores, he's still averaging 99. So you hold him as much as you can. If he keeps getting these low scores, then yeah, fine. It's time to get rid of him. But for now, you hold. And then lastly, there's a guy who played his first game for Gold Coast for this year. Malcolm Roses scored 74. He's 130k forward. Keep an eye out for him this week. If he scores well again, could be a possible downgrade target. But I am worried about his job security and being a forward, especially playing for Gold Coast. He could be a bit of like a Rochelle. He could go quiet for a few weeks and then have a good score, then quiet again. So keep an eye out for him. But I'd probably stay clear unless he turns up. Now, just before we sign off for the night, Jack, I've got 2 notes here. For Brisbane, they have a debutant this week. Kai Loban is 121k forward. I don't know much about him, but I quickly did some quick research. So he's 185 centimeter forward, and he's 77 kilos. So he's that small to medium type forward. I've seen a few videos. He looks lively, very agile. Looks like he's got some decent speed on him, and he looks good around the goals. So he's a bit of that Rochelle, can snap it, just knows where the goals are, and very good in front of him. So keep an eye out for him. I don't think he'll stay in the side, but just put his name out there, I guess. And before, Jack, you asked about DPP and what happens. So we were all under the impression after round 6, people will get DPP. It's actually after round 5, going into round 6. So,
wow.
We've played 4 rounds already. So after this week, you'll be able to get your Pendles, your Dacos, your Horn Francis in different positions. So that's something really good to think about. And saying that, does that mean at round 11? Does that mean at round 17? That's when we're going to get more DPPs. And if we go off that, we could get some DPPs for finals, possibly. Maybe the grand final, there might be a sneaky DPP that takes your team and gives them the edge over your opponent. Who knows? But that's what happens. So after this round, there will be DPP. So get your trade boost ready. It's after this week, it is trading season officially. So on that note,
trading season.
That's it. On that note, Jack, that'll do us for tonight's podcast. Was there anyone in your teams that we missed, or somebody looking to try and trade in that we didn't talk about? Let us know on Twitter or in the YouTube comments. Thank you all again for your support and listening and watching on Apple Podcasts and on the YouTubes. Don't forget to hit us up on Twitter at BreakevensPod and on YouTube in the comments, as we said, the Breakevens. Good luck for round 5. And on that note, as always, till next week, it's bye for now.
See ya.